At one point, the farmer succumbed to those strange voices and attacked his wife, beating her to death with an axe. But he didn't stop there. He also began to eat the bodies of his wife and daughter, who had witnessed everything. He then took his daughter and slaughtered her in a bloody and terrifying manner. Before we start the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive all the latest updates. You can also write down the movie you would like me to present, preferably one produced in 2021 or 2022. Our movie begins in a very dark forest, which is not an ordinary forest, but a forest of death. It is not the Wrongturn forest, but a completely different forest called the Dark Redwood Forest. We see a girl being chased, her breath cut off, eyes fixed on something, clutching her bleeding stomach. In the midst of her terror, a strange man, wearing a mask, similar to a farmer's scarecrow mask, appears and begins to attack her stomach repeatedly. She falls to the ground, crawls away, but he brings an axe and strikes her in the back until she dies. The next day, a strange man arrives at the scene of the incident, examining the blood. Meanwhile, Marco and his girlfriend Chrissy arrive in the forest to meet Pam and her friends Bruce and Jessica. They pitch their tent near the historic Rosary House, known for a tragedy that occurred 20 years ago. Their goal was excitement, fun, experiencing something new, but they were unaware of what awaited them in the Redwood Forest. Pam calls Bruce, who says he's on his way. He decides to walk until he reaches them. Before he arrives, Marco and Chrissy are already there. The group begins walking toward the agreed location to pitch their tent. They prepare for the night, planning to begin their journey tomorrow to the famous house of the pool. They are not alone in the forest. Every year, tourists come to commemorate the incident. One of these tourists sits by his tent when he hears screams. He runs to investigate and discovers a severed corpse. Suddenly, the monster attacks him from behind with an axe, hacking at his back as if cutting meat for a feast. We go back to our friend's camp, where they were still waiting for Bruce and were surprised by his delay. The weather was getting dark. Pam got up to call him, but she had to walk a little in the woods to find a signal. At the same time, Bruce was riding his bike, but suddenly a chain appeared in the shape of a trap, and he fell off. He thought it was a prank by his friends and kept calling out to them, but no one answered. He got up and started walking in the woods, looking for his friends, but the monster sneaked up on him. This time it didn't kill him, but struck him in the face, causing him to faint. Pam entered the woods looking for Bruce and called his phone, but she found it lying on the ground and couldn't find Bruce. She became even more worried and went back to her friends, who told her that he might have dropped it on the way. At night, they decided to go ahead to the Redwood House so they wouldn't get lost in the woods. Pam wasn't convinced by this talk, but she accepted the situation because she couldn't walk alone in the forest at night looking for him. While our group was spending the night around a campfire, Chrissy began telling them about the massacre that had occurred 20 years earlier. The story involved a farmer who began hearing strange voices from demons or spirits, and these voices were ordering him to slaughter his wife. At one point, the farmer surrendered to the voices and attacked his wife, bludgeoning her to death with his axe. He didn't stop there. He began eating his wife's body while his daughter watched. Then he grabbed her and slaughtered her in a bloody manner. The police later found his body, which he had hanged himself. Legend has it that he appears every 10 years with his axe, wearing a scarecrow mask at his farm to slaughter new victims and feed on their bodies. Since this is the 20th anniversary of the massacre, he should be here with us now. Pam is frightened by the story, Chrissy reassures her. I'm laughing with you. This is a legend mothers tell us so we don't go into the forest. After the horror, they sleep to wake up the next day and continue their journey to the farmhouse. The next morning, Pam wakes up alone in the camp and calls out to the rest of her friends, but no one answers. Chrissy comes up and says, I went to get some water. Pam asks, where are Mark and Jessica? Chrissy replies, I don't know. They were here before I left. They start looking for them, thinking it's a prank, but they don't appear at all. They say, they must have beaten us to the house, so they decide to go and search for the house too. Indeed, Marco, Jessica, and even Bruce were there in the farmer's house, but they didn't go willingly. The farmer kidnapped them, and they were chained. The farmer enters and unties Jessica, carries her out, and starts taking out his weapons, scissors and pliers. He tortures her slowly. But in the end, he decides to use the farmer's sickle. The farmer, still always a farmer, but he won't use it to mow some clover or anything. He starts stabbing Jessica's stomach with the sickle gently. Jessica cries and begs him, but he continues. The stabbing grows quicker, stronger, until she bleeds and dies. After the farmer finished with Jessica, he enters and takes Marco. No one was there except Bruce, who was tightening the rope that tied him until he undid it and freed himself. He heard Mark screaming outside. He walked to help him, but he was afraid and hesitated. What was happening to Mark was worse. The farmer tied him to a chair and started hitting him with an axe as usual. But this time, he seemed fed up with the stomach and entrails. He wanted a piece of Mark's brain. He brought a saw and started sawing apart Mark's skull. Mark screamed and begged for his life until, finally, silence. Mark died as well. After that, the farmer sat down and started storing parts of his victims in jars to eat later. Among the things that were on the table was Mark's brain. Bruce was watching the farmer, sneaking through the house, looking for an exit without being seen. But when he arrived, he found a box inside and something moving. Before he opened it, he heard the farmer's voice, so Bruce hid. The farmer opened the box and started smashing it with his axe. Then he walked away. Bruce returned to the box and opened it. He found one of the tourists who had been in the forest. She was breathing her last breaths. Bruce left her and walked away. But the farmer spotted him. He ran after Bruce, slamming him against a wall. He struck his face over and over until it was covered in blood. Then he broke Bruce's arm. Bruce fell to the ground. At the same time, Pam and Chrissy arrived at the house, but they didn't find anyone. All they found was a dead fox, its foul odor filling the air. They sat down to rest, thinking they'd reached the wrong house. Pam decided to go out and look for a network signal so she could call someone. Chrissy stayed alone inside. But she wasn't truly alone. She found a hole in the wall, leading her to the place where the farmer was. She heard Bruce screaming as the farmer tortured him. She followed the sound, but the farmer sensed her. He came out, chasing her. She closed the door behind her and hid. But this was his house, and he knew it better than her. He opened the door. He followed her into the barn. She hid behind a haystack. The farmer came from behind and started stabbing her in his favorite spot. Her stomach was cut open. He pulled her intestines out while she was still alive. Pam heard the sound. She rushed inside, only to see the farmer carrying Chrissy's corpse and cutting it apart. The farmer was about to notice Pam, but she hid herself in time, holding her breath. Suddenly, the strange man who visited Pam in the first movie, the one we saw, was searching the forest. He was looking for the farmer, or the monster. He tells Pam, "Don't make a sound." He helps her escape. Then he tells her, "What brought you here? You don't know what this thing can do." Exactly 10 years ago, the farmer, or the monster inside him, or whatever it was, killed my daughter. I spent 10 whole years looking for him, and this year he showed up again, killing, slaughtering, not caring about anyone. "Run away from here! Save your life before he catches you!" Pam said, "I won't leave until I find my friends." He replied, "Your friends are probably dead and in the jars right now. But if any of them are still alive, you might find them in the place where he puts the bodies. I'll help you get there." But before they could leave, the farmer saw them and started chasing. The man closed the door behind him. The farmer stabbed him from behind the door. The man said to Pam, "Take the gun. It only has one bullet. Don't waste it. Come on, run away." The farmer went for the man after Pam escaped. The man shouted, "I've been looking for you for years. You literally wasted my life after you killed my only daughter. Come on, kill me. It doesn't matter to me at all." The farmer whispered, "Okay, honey," and killed him. Pam went to the place the man had told her about. She found many dead bodies, but none of them were her friends. Then she found one tourist still alive. The woman started screaming. Pam begged her, "Be quiet, he will hear us," but she didn't stop. The farmer came at them. Pam left her and ran. The farmer chased her down, struck her hard. Pam tried to hit him with the gun, but she fell. The farmer grabbed her by the hair. He beat her until she collapsed. Her face was covered in blood. Pam falls to the ground, and the monster prepares his knife to kill her, but Bruce enters. It turns out the farmer hasn't finished him off yet. Bruce hits the farmer so that Pam can find a chance to escape, but he kills him in a second. That second is enough. Pam grabs the gun and fires. The farmer finally falls to the ground. Pam escapes the cursed house and finds the man on the road. She gets in with him and falls asleep in the car from exhaustion. She wakes up at night, still in the forest. The man tells her, "I got lost on the road and have been circling the same place for an hour. I saw a house behind me. I'm going to go ask the people there." Pam replies, "But there are no houses here." Suddenly, the farmer appears from the forest. The bullet didn't kill him. He kills the man. Pam hides in the car. The farmer opens the door. She escapes and keeps running through the forest until she reaches a junkyard filled with old cars. She grabs an iron bar and strikes the monster on his leg and body. His body was clearly affected by the blow, as if he had become weaker after the shot and was falling to the ground, unable to move. Pam climbs the crane holding a car. Before the farmer can react, she drops the car on him. The farmer finally dies. The curse and legend of Farmer Redwood, who has terrified people for years, ends here. Do you think there might be a sequel to the second part released in 2020? The second part will be made soon. Like, subscribe, appreciate my effort, and see you in the next video. Bye!